So one of the biggest issues of our time is one of the issues where the United States internationally is no longer really a participant in the discussion. They're no longer really at the table thanks to Donald Trump. And that topic is climate change. The climate crisis is now. It's not some vague thing in the future. People are dying from climate change and pollution related issues right now. Now is when we are either going to figure it out or not figure it out and continue to fall further and further behind, more and more urgently behind in figuring this out. It's a national security issue. It's a moral issue. It's a physical issue with regard to the physical health impact that climate change has on humans and animals on this planet and biodiversity of the non-animal kind as well. And Donald Trump has been clear. Climate change is a hoax created by the Chinese. It's not a problem. The U.S. is out of the Paris Climate Accords. So other countries have to take the lead. It's not the U.S. who's going to do it. And so now, if you want to be at the forefront of fighting climate change, you don't go to the U.S., you go to China, you go to India, and you go to other countries. And this is becoming a vicious circle, a sort of self-fulfilling or self-perpetuating prophecy. Trump simply didn't go to yesterday's G7 meeting about the climate. This was the place to talk about the Amazon rainforest fires, which, by the way, the G7 said we're going to throw 20 million at it. There are movies, as has been pointed out on Twitter, that have budgets that are more than 5 times the amount of money that these 7 countries are saying we will devote to the Amazon fire issue. This was the meeting about cutting carbon emissions, about dealing with the crisis that is now, which is climate change. Trump just wasn't there. Trump was later asked, why weren't you at the climate session? He said, oh, we're having it in a little while. A reporter tried to explain to him that it's in the past. It already happened. Time moves forward. And Trump didn't seem to hear him, but he says we have the cleanest air and the cleanest water on the planet, which is, of course, both ridiculous and untrue.
Attend the climate session?
Say it?
Did you make it to the climate session? Were there any conclusions that you took away?
I'm going to. In fact, it's going to be our next session. So we haven't had it.
Do you have a message that you'd like to deliver to?
No, I want clean air and clean water. And we're right now having the cleanest air and cleanest water on the planet. But that's what I want. I want absolutely clean air and clean water.
Living in a complete fantasy world, as usual. And it was later reported that Trump wasn't there, but someone from his team was. French President Macron also said, oh, I did broach the topic of the fires with Trump, and Trump wants the fires put out. So, okay, there's that. Now, I hate to admit this because I want the United States to be part of the climate change discussion. We're one of the biggest users of fossil fuels. We have to be part of the solution, but there's probably way more progress to be made when Donald Trump is not participating. The guy suggested bombing hurricanes to stop them. The guy thinks climate change is a hoax created by China. What can he really add to a discussion about climate change? And unfortunately, the reality is that Donald Trump's constituents only make this more feasible. You've got the people who just don't understand climate change, so they don't believe in it. You've got the partisan hacks who just think it's a matter of opinion and liberals are wrong because they want to be on the other opposite side of liberals. You've got the religious nuts who believe God would never make it possible for humans to hurt the planet. And then you've got like the business and industry people who probably believe climate change and accept the science, but they recognize that their businesses potentially become less profitable if we take climate change seriously. And so you have this perfect constituency to do nothing about climate change and to feel good and justified about doing nothing, either because they're owning the libs or because of God or because of whatever else. Now, I understand why Trump didn't go to the meeting. I'm more left wondering why Trump even went to the G7. His big contribution was bringing Melania, who got media attention for kissing Emmanuel Macron, for suggesting Russia be allowed back into the G7, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Trump did nothing else notable in the positive sense, right? Why do these sissy Europeans keep talking about things like climate and nuclear weapons in the environment and trade? What about golf scores and Mar-a-Lago? Trump should really just stop going. And I hate to say it because the U.S. not being a participant short term is a very, very bad thing. But my thought is this guy is adding nothing and he's just embarrassing us. maybe the next president can start showing up and actually participating in more of a productive and respectable way. I believe that we are actually at that point where Trump just shouldn't even go to this stuff. Let me know if you agree, disagree with me. I'm on Twitter at @dpakman. The show is on Twitter at David Pakman Show. And of course, we are now on Twitch at twitch.tv/David Pakman. Make sure you follow us there and subscribe free with Twitch Prime if you've got an Amazon Prime account. Today's program is sponsored in part by Blinkist.com/Pakman. If you've not already heard about Blinkist, it's amazing. It's an app for your phone, tablet, or web browser. And what they do is they take nonfiction books, popular nonfiction, critically acclaimed nonfiction. They condense the book into a 15-minute audiobook. You get all the most important information and insights from each book, but you can soak up the entire essence of the book in one sitting. I've listened to a ton of books on Blinkist. One recent one is Robert Reich's new book, The Common Good. Also Bunk by Kevin Young, useful in preparing me for the pseudoscience miniseries that we're producing. And if you are a David Pakman Show viewer or listener, you can get a 7-day free trial by going to Blinkist.com/Pakman. If you're watching on YouTube, use the link in the video description. After the free trial, if you like it, you can get the full access to thousands of condensed audiobooks for about $5 a month. That's BLINKIST.com/PAKMAN.